Good morning again. It's Dan Alasso making history, and it is Saturday morning, the Saturday before the first week of classes at Bemidji State. It's going to be sunny and hot today, probably hit 90 degrees, so the family is going to float down the Mississippi River this afternoon. I'm going to stay home and get my courses buttoned up for next week because classes begin Monday. That includes populating the learning management system and updating the syllabi. I have taught all these courses before. So although I am making some adjustments to content, I'm adding an entire chapter in environmental history actually, and to assessment, the things that I'm grading the students on, I don't really need to write completely new syllabi or course shells this semester. And I have to say, one thing that I won't miss once my time at BSU ends is the way that syllabi have become these bloated things over the years. Syllabi used to be short descriptions, a couple pages that talked about the courses that we were offering, the approach to the topic that we're going to take, and the expectations. Right? They would have course schedules that described what we were covering on what days, and when the exams would be held and when papers were due, things like that. Now they've become these legalistic booklets of boilerplate and disclaimers, which is unfortunate. A few years ago, actually, I ran into an idea that was promoted by some of the people at Hypothesis, the social annotation application, that tried to make marking up the syllabus an interesting project, the first shared annotation assignment of the semester in classes. And I thought that was very interesting and kind of cool. I'd be embarrassed to force my students to annotate the documents that I'm required to call syllabi today. Another thing that I'm looking forward to abandoning is the antiquated learning management system that we currently use. Also, a few years ago, I met a guy who goes by the name the Moodler at OE Global in Milan. Martin Dougiamas, the Australian who founded and who runs Moodle, was already adding really cool collaborative and open education related features to the app in 2019. And as we transition to 21st century education and to a new ecosystem for learning, I think that a learning platform that could enable and support learning and collaboration could be very cool. Collaboration not only between students in a class, but actually even between educators globally. The LMS, learning management system that we use at BSU, is a dinosaur. I won't name it, but you can probably guess that it's one of the two dinosaur systems that kind of dominate the US, while Moodle pretty much has been adopted throughout the rest of the world. So this LMS is a dinosaur, but the sunk costs are a deterrent to change. They're actually preventing BSU from even thinking about a change. The time and the effort that people have devoted to making it minimally usable sort of make it impossible to even imagine changing. But I wonder, at what point does it make sense to say sunk costs are no costs? And this isn't original to me. This was a famous dictum of my agricultural economics professor at UMass back in the early 1980s. He was an old farmer, and so some of the students kind of scoffed at the counterintuitive advice. But he had hard experience as well as theory to back this claim. So I often hear his voice in my head when I see people hanging on too hard, too tenaciously to things that we've invested in, or to the way that things used to be done, the way we've always done it. It's going to be even harder for my university to avoid that tendency when BSU is eliminating so many of the younger faculty, or the people at earlier stages of their careers at least, in favor of folks, many of whom have been there literally for 2, 3, or 4 decades. Now, I'm not saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm living proof that you can, but it's hard work, and the sunk costs are much greater. So that's one of the things that I'll be looking for and that I'll be reporting on as this change begins to happen over the next 264 days at Bemidji State, and I will let you know what I find. But that's all for today. So I hope you found this a little bit interesting. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again